Now, let's check the dictionary to see how value is interpreted in the world that does not understand what value is. Number 1 says, the monetary worth of something, market price. However, value is an action of recognition that causes emotion. In other words, any action of recognition that causes emotion can be value, such as an action of recognition about unconditional love from family. So, value is not necessarily monetary. Also, worth is just a paraphrase of value, not what value is. And price is just a scale of monetary value, not what value is. Then, number 2 says, a fair return or equivalent in goods, services, or money for something exchanged. However, this interpretation means compensation for value, not value. Then, number 3 says, relative worth, utility, or importance. However, again, worth is just a paraphrase of value, not what value is. And utility and importance are attributes of a thing that create value, not value. Then, number 4 says, something such as a principle or quality intrinsically valuable or desirable. However, principle and quality are attributes of a thing that creates value, not value. And something intrinsically valuable for desirable is a thing that creates value, not value. Overall, the interpretation given in the dictionary is full of errors and inadequacies. This is not just the case with this particular dictionary, but with many other dictionaries, encyclopedias. Surely, the world does not understand what value is.